Hello, all. Today we'll be talking about frequently asked questions in an interview. Things to remember before we attend an interview is you need to dress appropriately. Plan out an outfit at least the day before, or if you can, at least 3 to 4 days ahead. It's a good idea to wear a business casual because your your dressing sense would give you your confidence. Arrive on time. See, if you are going to a face to face interview, then you have to arrive on time. Right now, with the things around, you might go for a Skype interview or a telephonic round. So, it is best to be ready with the technological things that you are supposed to be. Like your mic, your computer, your mobile, or whatever that you are planning to give your interview in. You should be ready with it. At least do a trial check with your friend or something and mind your manners. See, sometimes it is very overwhelming to take an interview. So you are very tense and all that stuff. But please make sure you thank the person who is taking the interview. Before all these things, you have to know about the company. Run a Google search. See, once upon a time, we used to only depend on the libraries and the class teachers, our class teachers. But right now, you have the power in your palms. So please run a Google check, find out what the company is all about, when did it start, what's the turnover, how many employees, and what is the designation, what is the designation's pay that they are giving. So you need to understand all these things. The payment thing would actually help you in the negotiation round. Might not be in the first round, but when they ask you a question like, how much do you expect from us? This would be really helpful. Your body language include nodding, eye contact, smiling, and solid posture. Include nodding and eye contact whenever necessary, and keep a smiling face. Playing with a pen, chewing gum, or slouching, or even brushing back your hair can be a distraction. Please do not do all this stuff. Ask insightful questions. When the interviewer asks you, do you have any questions? Please ask insightful questions like, what is the ideal candidate's performance? How is the ideal candidate's performance measured? Or how is it reviewed? So please ask ideal questions. Do not ask questions like, what is my salary? Or when can I get a hike? When can I get a promotion? Or not all these things. But please ask questions like the performance measured and reviewed, or do you give me any chance to go for my further education? All these things you can ask. And the question should show these questions show the interviewer that you are interested in growing, something which you are interested in growing. Rather than just monetary benefit, you need to ask the things that can update you. And now this is the most important thing. Any question that is asked you has a hidden question. Every question asked has a hidden question behind it. So you need to analyze. The minute the question hits you, you need to analyze what can be the real reason behind it. For example, the first one, tell me about yourself. This would be the starting of the conversation. It literally starts the conversation. See, when you meet a new friend, your new person, your new colleague or somebody, they'll ask you, okay, where are you from? What do you do? All that stuff. So this question literally starts the conversation. Sorry. And reflect the answers. Reflect an answer. Who am I? What am I like? How do others perceive me? What are my strengths as a person? In what areas do I develop greater skills? See, generally what happens is we tend to repeat the resume that we have. We talk about our parents, we talk about our sisters or brothers or siblings. I mean, our siblings, what are they studying right now? Where are they working right now? You tend to talk about the family, and then you tend to talk about an education, and then your hobbies and all that. But most of this has already been written in your resume, and they have a copy of it. After seeing that, they have called you for the interview. So need not repeat whatever you have given in the resume. Use tools like Johari window or SWOT analysis. When you use Johari window, SWOT analysis, and the 16 personality factors that I have already told you in your psychometric test, it would actually introduce you to you. When you know about yourself, it would be much better in defining yourself. So I highly recommend you to use Johari window and SWOT analysis to understand yourself, and then reflect your answers like who am I, what am I, how do others perceive me, what are my strengths as a person, in what areas do I want to develop greater skills. This is a simple thing. You can actually start with your educational background, make transition to a personal life, and end with a positive statement. And remember that time changes with years, and so your answer to this question must be. See, 5 years ago, your priorities are different. Your definition for success is different. Right now, it is different. 5 years ago, probably you just wanted to finish your 10th standard or intermediate. But now, you have to get a job. Your priorities are different. Your meaning of success is different. So, if I ask you the same questions after 5 years from now, your answer should be different. Now, the second question is, why do you think this company is a good fit for you? Okay, so what is the question behind this question? Simple statement, they are not interested in you if you are not interested in them. Isn't it so? Find out all you can about the job and the employer. As I told you, you have Google in your hands. Please check if you are going for Wipro, Infosys. Yeah, I understand Wipro is a very big company, Infosys is a wonderful company, but you can't just go into Wipro and Infosys without knowing about them, isn't it? So, just find out examine the employer's website about, when you go into the website, it is absolutely easy for you to find out about them. It is, in these columns, they would write about them, about us, mission of the company, what are the products or the services that they're offering, who are the people associated with it, and all that. You can also Google the employer's name to see and discover the clients, competitors, and reviews. You can also look into the LinkedIn profile of the company. LinkedIn nowadays is an absolutely amazing social network. So I recommend you to leave your Facebook, or at least, be active in LinkedIn rather than your Facebook. LinkedIn would actually take you to places. It will give you a new network which is necessary for your updating yourself and your growth. Make notes about what you find. See, once you Google it, please don't just see and leave it. Take a paper and write it down, because this helps you to memorize it better. Make notes about what you find. What are they, their products or services? Pay particular attention to the names of those products and services. The key employees, general size, medium, large, or both in terms of revenue as well as of number of employees. Their locations if they have more than one. This is absolutely necessary when they ask you if you want to relocate. If they are asking for a relocation, yes, we are, most of us, we are happy to relocate. But if you know the locations, you can actually negotiate. See, a North Indian person can negotiate for Delhi, Mumbai, or towards northern sides, and a South Indian person can negotiate, because it's not just relocating, it is more than that. When you relocate, you're not only considering working for that company, but it is also your personal life there. If I have been working with a lot of companies, so I understand. When I went to Chennai for training, there are a lot of people from Delhi and Mumbai, and they had absolutely terrible time having our food. There were no rotis available, and the curries are spicy, and you have tamarind in all the curries. Similarly, when you go over there, you find all dal chawal or rasma and all that, which might not be so palatable for our palate. So you need to understand different locations so that you can negotiate with them. Profit, okay. And have you used any of their products or services? Was it good experience? For example, if you're going to Wipro also has baby products. Wipro has electronic goods. So when you are going, you can actually, in the conversation, you can bring up these topics. Look for reviews of their products or services. Is that part of the organization growing or declining? So these are the things that you can Google and keep a note of it. From now, where do you see yourself after 5 years? This is a pretty much overly used question. Just yesterday, I was talking to a person from Chennai. He also faces, he has around 4 years of experience and he's trying to for a new position right now. When we were discussing about an interview, he said that, I've got this question, I don't know how to answer this. So from now, where do you see yourself after 5 years? What can be the real question behind it? Simple. What is your goal? Instead of asking you, what is your goal? They might ask you, from now, where do you see yourself after 5 years? So do you have a goal? I've also have another video on goal settings. I'm sure you have already finished your class. But if not, I would recommend you to go back and check with the goal setting video. Nobody is interested in your personal life. Absolutely true. Nobody is interested in your personal life. What happens with you? Who's your boyfriend? Who are your parents? Where do you stay? Nobody is interested. So do not say, I want to start my own business. I want to be a singer, dancer, writer. I want to be a good citizen of India. I want to be a good mother. These things are not your goals. See, don't try to be, over friendly with the HR, or don't try to overanalyze the situation. I want to be a very good citizen. Am I not a very good citizen of India right now? If you do your work properly, you are a good citizen of India. So please avoid these things, because when you are answering this question, you should keep the interviewer in your perspective, in your mind. Just like when I told you, your resume should have at least 2 or 3 copies depending on what company that you are applying to. Similarly, your answer for this one also should change accordingly. Which person is asking you? Who is asking you this question? Keep that in mind and then answer. Nobody is interested in your personal life. Though you might have the plans to move from your hired post, but do not disclose it to the HR. See, you might want to start your own business one day, but please do not tell that to your HR today. Make notes about what you find. Talk about your actual goals. Divide into long-term goals and short-term goals. So this is what you are supposed to do right now. Right now, this is what you are supposed to do. So that when you go to the interview, you can answer this question. Talk about your actual goals. Put a goal and then divide it into long-term goal and short-term goal. Have some real goals. Should be able to talk about your strategies, technique that required to reach your goal. May also discuss about your strengths and areas of development. Now, what are your plans to overcome your areas of development? Say that you still have to learn, grow, and train yourself with the skills that may help you reach your goal. I'm sorry, there's a spelling mistake in this slide. There are spelling mistakes in this slide. All right. So, what are your simple thing? You can actually talk about your goals. So 5 years from now, if you want to be, 10 years from now, if you want to be a vice president of the company, where would you be? Where would you see yourself after 5 years from now? Maybe at a manager operations or an assistant manager operations or a manager. So depending, you see, again, you need to understand the company and what is the hierarchy in that company. So it would be easy for you to give a particular designation rather than telling a vague answer like, I want to be at a good position or I want to do a good job. Rather than giving a vague answer, you can specifically tell that, my goal is to become the vice president of the company. So maybe after 5 years from now, I would see myself somewhere in a mid managerial level, maybe a manager operations or an assistant manager operations or an assistant VP. This is how you technically put the designations there and answer the question. What are your hobbies? A simple question, right? A very, very simple question. What are your hobbies? Now ask yourself, what are your hobbies? Do you have hobbies? Okay. Now why do they ask you this question? Are you happy with yourself? Because a person who is not happy with themselves, they prove to be a very bad employees to the organization. So who are you? Are you really interested with, that movie that we have seen in Telugu? Allu Arjun's movie, not the recent one. Na Peru Surya Na Illu India. In that movie, he says in the ending, in the climax scene, he says, I'm not happy with myself. Nato nen lenu. Nato nen lenu. How crazy that sounds, right? You are not there for yourself. You have to understand yourself. You have to be happy with yourself so that you can go ahead with your life. So do not say reading books and watching TV, sleeping, playing with kids. I mingle with people very well and I like making new friendships. And the last one I purposefully kept it there because I saw this a lot in Orkut and I am seeing this a lot in Facebook too. The sentence itself, the grammar, there is a grammatical error in that. So please don't say, I like making new friendships. Or please do not say all these. Okay, develop real hobbies. What are your hobbies? Find out what are your hobbies, who you are. If you can get the question to self-introduction, tell me about yourself. Who am I? What am I? What do people like in me? If you do actually work on your SWOT analysis or your Johari window, you will be able to understand what type of a person you are and what are the real hobbies that you are interested in. So choose your hobby and you can actually choose from any of these things. Talk about your actual hobbies. You like volunteering, painting, sketching, blogging, photography, arts, craft, journalism, cycling. I have a person who is crazy about cycling. He's a software engineer, but then he goes for cycling. So every day he gets up in the morning just to go and practice. His entire mind is completely, once he comes out of the office, he forgets about the office. And all he has in mind is, okay, for my next marathon, I should be able to go for 20 kilometers at a stretch. So if I have to go for 20 kilometers, what should I do now? Within a month, I should be able to reach speed for around 30 kilometers per hour, 40 kilometers per hour. So to reach that kilometers per hour, what am I supposed to do now? I need to practice. Okay, practice is not enough. What can I do? I need to include my strength training also into this. So this is how you chalk yourself your own plan. Your hobbies, if you're too much interested in your hobbies, if you're actually, you love yourself, then when you actually go win that marathon, he called up the other day and he was shouting on his lungs out. He won a marathon, a cycling marathon. Right. So this is how you're so happy about yourself. And when you actually go into work, your office politics don't matter to you. You do not seem to be engaging in office politics. You do not care about what other people think about you. Your only focus is on your betterment. Your betterment. What else is necessary in your life? Ask this question to yourself. So are you a team player? Because why would they ask you this question? Why would they ask you this question? Are you a team player? How do you behave in a team? Because there is no company nowadays which gives you work to do individually and get back to them. There is no company. Now it's all about team playing, team behavior. So how do you behave in a team? Are you a team player? Do not say, no, I'm an introvert. I like to work on my own. So if you can give me my place, my system, my place and the work, I would sit and do it. No, that's not how it works. This is the reason a lot of project works come into your final year or final semester. And when the project works come in, you need to work in a team, right? A project has a team and you are a member of the team. This is the mock test for your big job, right? So this is the reason they give you a team work as a project too. So how do you behave in a team? Research the role and the company to make sure you understand what the teamwork looks like at this particular organization. The keywords here are role, company, and particular organization. Role of the company, and particular teamwork. How does a teamwork look like? Company, role, and teamwork. These are the keywords over here. So what do you have? What do the company need? And where do you need to develop yourself? So when you are researching about the company, you can keep all these things in your mind. So consider the following while preparing. So these are the typical, questions that are the typical things what the company wants. Do you get along easily with people? So while you are answering the question, you can keep all these things in your mind. Are you an effective collaborator? Communicate with people from various backgrounds and with different personalities. Can you motivate people? Do you know how to push back tactfully? Can you mediate conflicts? Can you deal with difficult personalities? See, each of these things have a reason behind it. Can you get along easily with people when you come to a new company, new role? Will you be able to mingle with people there? Are you an effective collaborator? When you are working in a team, you have a common goal over there. And to reach a common goal, it is important to collaborate with your colleagues. So are you an effective collaborator? Can you communicate with people from various backgrounds and with different personalities? When you go to a company, when you actually get a job and you go to a company, you're a part of the team. Not everybody is from Andhra Pradesh. Not everybody is from Visakhapatnam. You have different people. You have different people from different places and different cultures. And cultures here might not be same. So when you have different cultures, when you have cross cultures, how do you deal with that? Something which is an offense, something which is very offensive here, might not be offensive there. So how do you deal with these kind of differences? Can you deal with them? Can you motivate people? Do you know how to push back tactfully? Somebody is giving the entire work to you. They are not working, but they are actually showing that they are working. And they are dumping all the work onto you. How do you retaliate? Will you fight with them and then get unnecessary attention towards you? Or will you do it tactfully? Can you mediate conflicts? If there is a conflict, how will you deal with it? See, can you mediate conflicts? This will actually help in a managerial position. Can you deal with difficult personalities? To understand this, you have to go a little bit into psychology and understand how many different personalities are there. You can go with assertiveness. When you go into assertiveness, you will understand how many different personalities are there, and then how do you deal with each and every personality. This will actually make you a very good manager. Then before you answer, consider how can you best contribute to the team. Example, I believe that I have a lot to contribute to the team environment, and I am comfortable in both leadership and contributor roles. I am outgoing, friendly, and have a strong communication skills. And have strong. Okay, you can read it once again. I fumbled over there. So this is how you can actually give an answer to, are you a team player? Now, your strengths and weakness. The question behind is, do you know yourself? Simple, right? You have to be honest, and not so confident answers will keep you in a grave. Your father, mother, family, and friends, these people will never be your strengths. Please understand, these are not your strengths when coming to a professional field. Do not lie. This is a big thing. Do not lie. Because how many ever time, if you actually lie, you have to keep on lying to cover that lie. And that will not survive, and that will not survive for a long time. You will not survive for a long time. Lie is always a lie. I can tell that, I finished my engineering in 2017, but I might have 3 or 4 or at least 5 or 6 backlogs there. I will say, I finished my engineering or PG or UG, anything. I would say, I would lie over there. But when you go for your promotions, that would come back. Or when you can actually finish an interview, but when they do a background check, they will understand that you lied. So you might be put in a blacklist. And blacklist, when your name is put on your blacklist, there are a list of companies would reject you. It doesn't end with that one particular thing. It would go for around a list of companies which they just look at your profile and then reject you. You understand? So lying is never okay. So what employees are looking for? Okay, this thing which came here, this is not supposed to be here. That should come in the ending. So what employees are looking for? Employees are looking for analytical skills, communication skills, leadership skills, ability to work in a team, hard skills, soft skills. So you can talk about all these things. What are your strengths? I am very good at communication skills. I'm good at analytical skills. Or you can also use your core subjects. See, right now, if you take in computers, Python is the leading thing. So you can say, I'm good at Python. Or you can also say, Python is leading right now, but I'm not so confident on Python. So I'm trying to learn Python. I am attending some online classes. See, if you go back, where is that? If you go back, if you go back, you are saying here that you still have to learn, grow, and train yourself, right? And here may also discuss about your strengths and areas of development and what are you doing to overcome your areas of development. So what are you doing to overcome your areas of development? Right now, if Python is the leading one and you do not know, that is your areas of development. And you are trying to take online sessions, that is where you are trying to improve or overcome your areas of development. Okay, so any questions in this, you can definitely contact me on eshweta@lbc.edu.in, or you can contact me on my phone number. You can WhatsApp me or you can email me. Thank you so much.